we're going to try and dissect now the issues at Manchester United. I mean, we're going to have to, this is a post-mortem movie, we're going to have to like get our scrubs on.
Where do we even start? We haven't spoken about this in a while. And every time it feels like, oh, there's a semblance of a performance.
Yeah, the Villa game.
Chelsea.
The Villa
comeback.
Mate, the Villa game. I thought that was it.
Second half.
I thought that was it.
Second half of the game was so good for you.
The Villa game was the moment where I thought, okay, if there is ever going to be a resurgence, a rebirth, a time where Manchester United not only become the club that we associate them to be, but Eric Ten Hag becomes the manager that he is supposed to be. It's now. You beat Aston Villa in those circumstances. It's so in keeping with the traditions of Manchester United. But do you know what? There was a word of warning that I thought brilliant. I got a text message through. They did it under Mourinho, Newcastle. And Mourinho, everybody was saying exactly the same thing. They were 2-0 down against Newcastle, ended up winning the game 3-2, and everybody went, this is it. This is the moment. Mourinho's in the press conference doing his thing. Mourinho was sacked 2 months later. 8 weeks later.
Something, I think it was after, I can't remember what game, I think it was after the Villa game. But what kind of summed up the mood amongst a lot of people, fans included, I think, because none of us really went. We're kind of used to 2 steps forward, 1 step forward, 2 steps back now. Bruno, I think, in an interview went, I don't want to talk. We've had too many conversations about this being, when he was asked,
turning point.
It was like, we've spoken about all this before. Let's focus on the next game.
Yeah.
And then we went and lost the next game. And it's like, it was even kind of like a.
Did you think it was a turning point? Or did you know it was like another false flag?
Not a false flag. I hoped it could be a turning point because big wins like that against very good teams like Aston Villa. And also, I think the manager it was his change in the second half. He pushed our fullbacks further forward. That kind of changed the game. And you think everyone can get confidence from this. The manager, the crowd, everyone, bring it forward. But every time we seem to do that, and it's the team, the manager, we seem to just shoot ourselves in the foot. Against West Ham. And after the game, I kind of said this in my review and people thought I was calling West Ham crap. But what I meant to say was they didn't have to play well to beat us. Like, they didn't have to get out of second gear to beat us. And there were times in the game where United take a chance. It's a different game.
What's happening, everyone? I'm terribly sorry to interrupt this clip. We will be back to it in no time. But just before we get back to it, I need to let you know that this clip is brought to you by the wonderful people of Super 6. Super 6 is a completely free game. And if you predict 6 football scores correctly, you will win £250,000. Did I mention that it is totally free to play? So make sure that you click the link in the description below. Download the Super 6 app. As mentioned, it will not cost you a penny. Predict 6 football scores correctly. This week, it's the FA Cup. And if you get them right, you will win £250,000. Join our mini league as well. The code is Club23. Enjoy the rest of the clip.
But we just continue to miss those chances. We continue to then build, have that. We're very emotional. So if things don't go our way in the first 10, 15 minutes, we kind of lose our heads. And it happens a lot. And there are games where we do come back and we fight back a little bit. But even in games like, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, we've had those fight backs and then immediately just let it go again. I think the manager's coming under a lot of pressure because there's decisions he's making at the moment where you just, in the game against, who did we lose to last?
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United. We lost the other week. I think this is how many games we lose. I just lose track of all the games. Against Forest, sorry. At half time, he brought off Kobbie Mainoo and brought on Scott McTominay. And Scott,
that's right.
Kobbie Mainoo.
McTominay was at fault for the goal.
For both goals. And look, Kobbie Mainoo wasn't playing great. And he kind of said, look, I want to manage him and all this kind of thing. But it was 45 minutes of the game. We've got 2 games in this month coming up because of the way things are falling. We'll have a third if we beat Wigan in the Cup, which is looking touch and go as it goes. But even that decision there, we kind of just threw the game in Brentford's favour. It gave a big hole in front of our defence. Tactically, we don't look good at the moment, consistently enough.
Do you know the moment?
But not enough.
Do you know where I really acknowledged that it had gone so wrong? Because I thought the Villa game was going to be the moment. I really did. I thought there's something, not the moment for like a complete change of culture at the club, but the moment where they maybe push on for the Champions League spot, that kind of.
Yeah,
I really did. They beat Aston Villa, which was significant in itself, and then in the manner of the victory, I thought, whoa, that's really, really big performance. But you know where I just think it's now, it's just so over. The Forest game, so at a loss, and those. Firstly, it's not really a shock. Nobody was shocked that Forest have beaten Manchester United. Then when you think about the star, when you're watching that game. Manchester United over the years, there's always been genuine stardom, like Hollywood footballers. it doesn't matter whether it's, I don't know, David Beckham or Eric Cantona or, whoever, like actual superstars, Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, Wayne Rooney, obviously. You're looking at this mob. I was watching the game against Forest. I'm like, the Hollywood on this pitch, the razzle-dazzle on this pitch, it's that Gibbs White. Like, he's the guy. He's
in that clip.
Where I love the two
where
clips.
he says they don't want to be
They don't want to be here. Ericsson, who's like, I don't want to be here. Ericsson's like this. Really don't want to be here. And that's what you just said, because that's exactly how I feel.
He looks old in that clip as well.
You know why he looks bad as well? Look, I don't think Christian Eriksen's a problem. The fact he's starting so many games is a problem.
Shot in the last minute. The Ericsson moment in the last minute. You seen that?
Where he hits it wide. The shot.
Well, I mean, the fact that you're playing hard and fast and loose with the term hits it. I mean, he made contact with the ball, if that's what you mean by hits it. But no footballer has ever been less convinced in their own ability to score a goal than Christian Eriksen in that moment.
But why is he playing the base of midfield in that game? I don't get that.
He's meant to be the quarterback, isn't he?
Look, Christian Eriksen sometimes, when we solidify that behind him, sometimes he's very good at being the pass in the final third. And, being that final ball usually works better at home when we play against teams that may sit in and try and hit us on a counter-attack. Going away from home, again, I saw this clip online of a lot of goals that we've conceded from cutbacks this season. And you either see McTominay or Eriksen just dragging to the edge of the box. He becomes an issue for us because he's not covering his man. The fact that Kobbie Mainoo comes into midfield, an 18-year-old boy, and I know he's a very, very good 18-year-old boy, but just looks like the boss straight away. When you've got all these grown men around him in midfield, is embarrassing in itself.
Yeah.
Look, hopefully, we see some change in this second half of the year. And I think he's going to be given time because of the situation he finds himself in. I would like to see him given time, but I can't lie. When I see some of the team selections I'm seeing and some of the substitutions I'm seeing, it's like he don't know what he's doing anymore, and you're not doing yourself any favours, and you've got to buy yourself time. You've got to get results, and if you're not getting results, ultimately people are going to start looking at you. With the change of, I'm not saying ownership, but the change of direction from a sporting level as well, with Jim Ratcliffe and all these guys coming in. If you're not making this dressing room, which ultimately is full of multi-million-pound players, no matter what we think of individuals and whether they should be there or should not be there, and should be performing better than this. Like, I looked at it the other day. The way this season's been, just say we won 3 more games, and we'd still be having this conversation if we won those 3 more games, because it's still not good enough, right? We'd be like, next to Spurs.
No, you'd be fine. You don't have to be that good to be good this year.
You don't have to be good to be like... Realistically, we should have been looking at top 2 challenge, definite.
Yeah.
And just the fact that beating Palace or Brentford or Bournemouth at home would mean we'd be in the top 4.
At the beginning of the season,
and that means there's no excuses.
At the beginning of the season, particularly off the season that you had last year, which I know Buvey disagrees with me, but in my opinion is like non-negotiably good from Man United.
It was good.
In my opinion, I know that there is a counter argument that he makes validly, but in my opinion, it was non-negotiably good. If I said to you, 40 points had just gone the halfway point of the season. 40 points will have you challenging for the league title.
Possibly, yeah.
Bearing in mind the start that City had, you would have thought you need at least 50 to be challenging for the league. It's 10 points less than that. 10 points. So 40 to challenge for the league, 35. Man United would be up there.
You probably need 83 to win the league this year. It's mad.
Unless City do what they do.
It'd be 91, I think, 92. But yeah, I know what you're trying to say, obviously.
But the fact that Manchester United are nowhere near it. Like what I'm saying is, off the back of winning that cup and finishing third, you would have said, okay.
One thing he's got in his favour, is Lisandro Martinez could return. And we've seen with Varane and Evans playing, just having them two has shown a little bit better at the back.
Evans has been your best centre-back.
Yeah.
He was good.
Having Lisandro Martinez come back could be huge.
And Mount,
Having Mason Mount come back, Amrabat be fit could be... But you've got to get these...
He's not bad.
When we have some of these players fit, he don't play them as well. It's really
Whenever
weird.
I've seen him, he's bad. Really
he's had a few good games, but we're bad in general.
I mean, the best game I've seen him have was at fullback.
Yeah.
If you lose to Wigan, is it over? Is Wigan the final?
It's over.
I'm not saying you will, but you could lose to Wigan.
It doesn't matter. If beat Wigan 4-0, it's over.
What do you mean it's over?
It's over for Ten Hag. It doesn't matter what happens.
Every manager's over for every manager at any point in the season. I'm saying now it's over.
Through the season.
It's over. Whether he gets sacked today...
But if you lose to Wigan, I mean, that is a possibility.
At the end of the season, they look at it.
Today, in February, or at the end of the season, there's absolutely no way that Ten Hag is their manager going into New Year.
0%.
Zero. It's gone. It's over.
Bro, obviously, I'm an optimist as well. And I've got things wrong a lot of times with Man United managers.
Yeah, but that's weird because my predictions are always bang on.
One of the things is, you've got 18 league games to go. You've got the FA Cup, which you never know what can happen in there. We've seen last season that with, Casemiro, Martinez or whoever available, he can go on a string of results and get things. And then you never know. He might earn some credit with the new owners who come in and then they start talking.
It would actually be the worst thing that could happen, though. If he gets himself into a situation where he's kind of unsackable.
I think it's over.
Because you know what makes me...
I said it and you were like...
when you look at
I'm saying there's a world they keep him on. I think he'd be wrong.
Yeah.
He's not
you
right.
see the sea change. That they didn't really need to change a lot at the club. Just once that change happened above the manager, and there was kind of like a downward thinking, and it was a downward thinking from the top to the bottom. You did see improvements like around the club, just a positive nature of things change. Arsenal changing from Crank, I know it was still his son, but then kind of having that collaborative effort with Edu and Arteta and all these kind of things. Once that happens, you do see some positive change.
Yeah, that's true. Like the ridiculous way that you spent money has been...
It's ridiculous.
Do you seen that stuff about Højlund? Apparently you decided, you valued Højlund at... what did you end up paying? 72, right?
Plus.
He was told, Atalanta told Højlund that he could leave for 50. Manchester United said they wouldn't spend more than 60. And yet you ended up spending 72. Do you know that fellow who I thought was him that isn't? He's become very famous.
Who?
You know the Højlund lookalike?
Oh, yeah.
For God's sake.
You made him famous, by the way.
Yeah, you keep banging on about him.
He's on Thogden's predictions.
Yeah.
Wait, he did Thogden got Højlund.
It isn't him, but it looks it isn't him. But yeah, Thogden did. But there's so many examples of where it, like structurally it's gone wrong for Manchester.
Yeah, so I do hope that can bring some change. But again, it's like you look at Ineos and their track record at football, it's not.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not the best.
It's not great. Yeah, but it's also that weird.
Not looking nice.
That numbers.
Jesus
numbers approach.
Just stop.
No, it's not looking nice.
Let's just stop.
I was saying about Man United.
Let's end
this analysis about your club.
Because this will probably be a clip. So let's leave the clip.
We'll cut here. It's not looking.
Rory's horrible. Buvey's horrible job.
Outro. It's not looking nice for Man United.